Well, greetings, programs. It's raining out, so we'll see whether or not the camera holds up under the conditions. It is not in a weatherproof housing, and it really ought to be. Testing, is this thing on? I have not made a vlog in, man, over a month now. And I tell you, it's because the dam finally broke on my tailoring business. So I've said this before, but for those of you who joined and have not watched the backlog of videos that I've made, I run a side business in making Renaissance clothing, primarily for men, but in this case I was doing outfits for a former king and queen. They are now a count and countess in the SCA. So I took the commission when they were still king and queen, but then getting measurements and getting the work done was taking too long, and making alterations needed to happen, and then we moved, and then we started camping for the summer season. So there was just this litany of reasons why it was just not getting done as quickly as it really ought to have. But I finally cleared that, got past it. They now have every garment but one. The one was waiting on making sure that her dress fit, and now that I know for sure that her dress fits her in a way that's satisfactory, I can finally do that. So it is on the back burner for the moment until 12th night. So I'll probably start that in December and work on embellishing it and getting it all prettied up. But that leaves me open finally to do other people's work. So I've got a Dominican friar's outfit for a friend of mine that is doing a religious thing. His persona is a Dominican monk, even though he himself is an Orthodox Jew, which is hilarious. But he actually is surprisingly well versed. I mean, he's not into this stuff lightly. It actually interests him to follow the different theological beliefs of various sects within Catholicism, and historically what did they believe and how were they formed. So it's been interesting because he'll talk about it while I'm working on stuff for him. So I've got a couple garments down for him. I've got a few more to go. But when that's done, then I get to move on to a dress for a lady that is a massage therapist and has traded me some massage work that I needed because my shoulder's all kinds of fucked up, for a discount essentially on this dress, and doing a little bit of a barter thing along with actual profit when it's all said and done. That strikes my fancy. So I am looking forward to moving on to that one, but there's going to be a little bit more material costs. She's got to buy stuff, and then we go. Then it gets underway. So all of that has contributed to me not going to my usual stuff, like Tuesday night coffee and hanging out with people. I haven't been doing videos because I've just been so busy, and I have been fighting way more than I used to. So I don't often talk about the SCA because I'm not sure how interesting it is to anybody, but you know what? I'm that nerdy guy. I'm a geek, so I'm going to go on about geeky stuff, and you can like it or lump it. Ghibli, ghibli, ghibli. I became, by virtue of a weird set of circumstances, the armored combat champion of my local barony. I didn't win a tournament. I actually took third in that tournament. But the gentleman who won the tournament went on to start, I think, now this is not to be taken, too seriously. It's, grain of salt, because I'm not the originator here. This is just hearsay to me. As I understand it, he started dating a lady from a different kingdom who, at the time he was dating her, was the queen. So he felt it was a conflict of interest to try and be our champion while he was devoting himself to a queen in service. And so he decided he needed to step down, and the gentleman who should have taken over and would have been the champion next had become our Baron. So he cannot be his own champion, which meant that it fell to me. And in May of this year, I took my oath and became a champion of the barony of Dragon's Mist. Subsequently, I have spent most of my season fighting my little ass off. Trying to earn that title and do justice to my barony for giving it to me, even though it wasn't exactly like I came out and won a title and then, you know, defended it. So nevertheless, it would be a disservice if I didn't do everything I could to represent us in war and in tournament fighting as best I can. So I also seem to have broken through a plateau that I had reached in my fighting, and I've been getting faster and better at defense and learning to deliver blows around defense in better ways. And I won't bore you with the details. If you don't heavy fight, I don't think you'd understand. But needless to say, it has been taking up a lot more of my time and energy, and I'm really thrilled about that. I'm also the captain of my branch's war unit, so I have been showing up to wars and leading in war. I need to finally stop talking about it and do it. I gotta drill a hole just big enough for my microphone to get into my weather sealed case for my GoPro, because if I don't do that, I'm afraid that it's gonna get wet. Like right now, it's technically getting dripped on, but the weather's just so light that so far I don't think it's been an issue yet. This will be the one test video I do of that, and if it's a problem, then I don't do it anymore. But so far the light's still blinking. I'm assuming that means it's still working. Now, we're done with the camping season. The last event that I could have camped was actually called Acorn War, and that ended up being a day trip where we came out in the morning and hung out all day, and I actually took my son home early because he was done. He needed to go home. But that's it. We're done with camping events for the year. We go into a different mode, and everything we do from now on is feasts and showing up for day trips. And then round about Christmas time, we have an event called 12th Night where we'll actually be staying at a hotel, and I'll have a lot more to say about that as we get close to that, because we have jobs to do when it comes to that. But yeah, now that I'm not going to be having full weekends and all of my time during the week devoted to stuff, I'm going to try and get back to finding a schedule, maybe middle of the day. I might take lunch breaks at work and do videos. And so I have a thought here, which is that I think I hit a point where my accomplishments on video and my inspiration were not lining up. I felt that the content I wanted to be delivering was better than what I was actually delivering. And that's discouraging when you feel like your audio setup is not working, or when you feel like you edit poorly or something like that, and it draws away from doing it as a hobby. And I'm not doing it in a way that makes me, profit. So not any substantial amount of profit. So I don't feel like that it's worth me investing a huge amount of time into if I'm not feeling it. If it were more of a job, then yeah, I would feel obliged. I would feel like making content is what I do, and I would have to find new content to put up in order to keep up the flow of income. But since income is not the driving factor here, I don't have to worry about that part of it. Now, moreover, my inspiration has been devoted on purpose to my tailoring business. And And when I needed the break while we were moving, my mental energy was going to things like playing games, just to decompress and get my mind off of stuff because I was busy. And work stuff was stressful for a while. I think I've talked about that in previous videos, so I won't belabor those points. But yeah, I feel like it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep spinning all the plates at the same time, and my natural mode of life is to have more plates than I can spin at any given time, and intentionally let some of them kind of go by the wayside temporarily. For instance, I am also a big fan of painting sci-fi and fantasy miniatures. So the Reaper and Games Workshop and other companies' miniatures, I'm a huge fan of painting that stuff. I'm a bit like, as previously noted, I'm a big geek. But I have to put that down, and I don't do it all the time. Likewise, I'm only really into the goth culture about 6 months out of the year. And we're actually coming up on that. So October, I will be transitioning back to goth mode. And I'll be spending a bit of time getting my wardrobe back out. And, you know, that's when I start hitting up the scene a little bit more. And during the summer, it's like it's bright out. I got camping events. I got my SCA stuff to do. And I just don't focus on it. So I find that I have more interests than I really can focus on all simultaneously. And so, like, motorcycle stuff, I mean, shit, part of the reason that I wasn't going to Tuesday Night Coffee is just it, too, had to go by the wayside temporarily. But we'll see who's there tonight, and we will see if I can hit up afters and spend a little time hanging out with people and catch up on how things have been. I want to thank you for being my subscriber, or being some person who randomly found this video on the internet and decided to stick with it this long, which is a rare thing. But in any case, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great time. Keep the Riverside down. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.